In the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, the world is slowly beginning to climb back to its feet. During lockdown, the team behind Formula E has been busy working hard on a way to return to racing in the safest possible way.
The solution was to take over the historic Tempelhof Airport in Berlin and run an unprecedented 9-day event with 6 individual races on 3 different tracks.
This event was designed to bring the season's calendar to a close and crown the newest champion of electric street racing in the most intense season finale in motorsport history.
In this episode of Street Racers, we're going to take a close look at how the 6th Formula E championship was won.
Get the inside track on the logistical challenge behind building 3 circuits in one location.
And we'll look ahead to what's next for the world's fastest growing form of motorsport.
But in case you missed all the fun of the season so far, let's get you up to speed as quick as we can.
Before the season was put on hold, we had completed 5 incredible races. And with 3 podiums in a row, culminating in his first win of the season, DS Techeetah's Antonio Felix da Costa arrived in Berlin with just a 9-point lead at the top of the standings.
Having taken pole position in round 6, he led from lights to flag to bag the maximum 30 points to add to his championship tally. And just the next day, he displayed his dominance once again as he led every lap of the race to take the top spot of the podium in round 7. With just 4 races to go, it looked like nobody could catch him as we headed into round 8.
But just as the title began to look under wraps, a comparatively poor qualifying session meant Da Costa would be starting in 8th on the grid, with teammate and reigning champion Jean-Eric Vergne on pole and championship rival Max Günther next to him in 2nd.
Vergne on pole position. Watch out for 8th place, Antonio Felix da Costa. And we go green in Germany.
As round 8 got underway at Tempelhof, the sparks started flying. Veterans Massa and Degrassi battled for a points position.
Massa spun me, man.
You're a little bit aggressive there.
And a pileup at turn 9 caused chaos.
Unbelievable, he just completely T-boned me from miles back.
Having started in 8th position, Costa had work to do to keep the championship fight on course. He wasn't giving an inch.
And that's aggressive from Da Costa.
While BMW's Max Günther was battling with Jev for the lead.
Vergne takes the slingshot, gets to the inside, he's back in front.
It's all down to the last lap.
Günther gets the cutback, and Max Günther takes the lead.
And Jev's troubles didn't end there.
There goes Freitz up the inside of Vergne. So much more usable energy. The Dutchman is up into 2nd place. He's got 1% more than Günther.
Focus in front, mate. Maximum efficiency. Good job.
We look in front of us, do not look behind.
Freitz to the outside. Does he try and go all the way around the outside? He doesn't. It might be the closest finish in Formula E history. Across the line, the checkered flag. Günther wins.
Yes, guys! Oh! I really enjoyed this one.
A brilliant drive from Da Costa saw him cross the line in 4th place.
Very nice race, very nice race. Well done.
All right, thanks everyone. One step closer.
That climb through the field for Da Costa put him 68 points ahead of race winner Günther, leaving the championship fight all but one, barring a complete disaster in the remaining races. So on the eve of the most important race of Da Costa's life, we sat down with him to reflect on his journey to this point in Formula E.
I joined Formula E with this team, with Mark Preston. He was Team Aguri at the time. From day 0, I was in Donington when all the teams got to drive the cars for the first time. I was coming to working with the World Championship winning team in Formula 1 at the moment, to working with BMW in DTM, to then finding myself in Donington with an electric car, with 2 mechanics wearing civilian clothes, a toolbox on the ground, and all this in the time that I've lost my dream. And I don't think I've ever told this story publicly, but I got on the phone to my manager, to Tiago, and I told him, dude, get me out of here because I can't do it. And he called me 6 hours later and said, okay, we're out. And I was just arriving at BMW for a DTM test, and I met my boss and said, by the way, you know, I'm actually not doing Formula E after all, you know, I don't, and they told me, no, you have to do it. Do it, you have to do it, we need you there. we can't tell you why, but we need you there. So I picked up my phone. I said, Thiago, I need the contract back. They were happy to take me back, which I was very grateful for. We had a very tough first year. 1 week before season 2 starts, I had no seat. And I called these guys again, and they took me again. You know, Mark has always had the door open for me, and yeah, season 2 was actually what kept me in Formula E for good. I went to Andretti for season 3 and 4. I was being lapped by Buemi and Di Grassi and Jev. It was tough for me. That was really tough. Finally, BMW does join, and I win the first race with them. That for me was like the weight off my shoulders, and it's like I still have it, you know. I can still beat these guys. And then the move to these guys happened, and I saw a better chance of winning, and I made the move, and I guess it's paying off. I don't want to jinx anything. We're obviously close, but when it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And yeah, I mean, I think tomorrow is going to be. It's the first time I'm talking about it, so it's now maybe sinking in. But tomorrow it's going to be a cool day.
Vern on pole, Da Costa alongside him on the front row of the grid. If he finishes where he starts, he wins the title tonight. And we go green in Tempelhof.
It wasn't long after lights out that the classic Formula E chaos began.
Big lockup, and Gunter smashes into the back of Oliver Turvey, and that is the end of the road for Gunter.
Attack mode shook things up at the front with Da Costa dropping 2 places, but he was quickly back on the hunt.
Immediately Da Costa goes up the inside of Alex Lynn.
Soon rejoining his teammate at the front of the pack.
And Da Costa is back ahead of Roland.
Okay, swap.
Teamwork was the name of the game at DS Techeetah, as Jev and Da Costa were ordered to swap places to conserve energy.
Attack mode also caused problems for Nissan Edam, letting Mercedes rookie Nick de Vries into the podium fight. But it wasn't long before Season 2 champion Buemi made his experience count.
Here comes Buemi to the inside, and he cruises past Nick de Vries.
Team orders took effect at DS Techeetah.
Here's a swap for the 2 DS Techeetah drivers working together here to get the job done. Buemi up the inside, and he's up into 3rd place.
I need Antonio for me to enjoy this lap. Congrats, mate.
Last lap.
Here comes Jean-Eric Verne, and on the streets of Berlin at Tempelhof Airport, it is a remarkable achievement. DS Techeetah wrap up the drivers and the team's title. Antonio Felix da Costa, the champion of Formula E.
Oh my God, we just won this, guys. I'm lost for words, man. Thank you everyone.
We're champion as well as a team.
Jean-Eric Verne took his first win of the season, but 2nd place was more than enough to secure the Drivers' Championship for Antonio Felix da Costa.
The huge points haul from the 1-2 finish was also enough to snatch the team's championship in a historic day for the Chinese team.
Formula E has never seen one driver be so dominant in a season. So after that emphatic win, we got the 2 guys who made it happen together to talk through how it all went so right.
Hey guys, Antonio Felix da Costa here. I am your newest ABB Formula E champion. I'm here with my boss, Mark Preston, and now we're going to take a look at some of the key moments of my season. So guys, punch it. You brake tested me. That was overtaking Seb for P2.
Yeah.
It was the smallest touch, but you know, when the car's on the limit, is enough to spin him around.
Because you were straight on the radio going, I didn't mean it.
It's like, no, he overslowed it. Like, there was nothing I could have done at that point. I think that those were exactly my words on the radio, and we came away from that weekend with like 3 points only.
The whole weekend was just like all these high hopes, and then just...
Yeah, we had to wait a month and a half until we could go back on track to release our frustrations. But yeah, let's take a look at what happened next. Chile.
Oh,
that's
yes.
a smoking cheetah. Yeah, this was a frustrating moment, I have to say. You know, he was making my life a little bit difficult at that point, but yeah, we both ended up losing a lot of time, and we ended up losing the race just. From starting 10th or 11th and being in a shot within winning the race. For me, that was really where I understood we had the package to...
I think you were still gelling with the team too, weren't you? Because
Yeah,
we didn't have a great weekend in Riyadh, and then obviously coming there, and we're all trying to prove a lot of things. And
there were a lot of things that were still to come together at that point in the season, but we could clearly see the potential in the car.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, still happy with the end of that day, to be honest. All right, next one, 2 podiums in a row. Chile and Mexico, we started like 10th, and we came twice second. So I mean, obviously, car potential was there, but...
Getting the rhythm now, just getting a couple of podiums.
You build such a complicated car that it takes a little bit of time for a not so smart guy like me to pick it up, but once I did, then it was fine. It's Marrakesh now. Pole position, big fight with Maxi all the way through.
You should tell a bit more about that overtake.
I kind of forced him to go around the outside of me. I was trying to get him to use as much of his energy that I could. I used the attack mode to offset myself from him and really take off, and that's when we got the race in the bag there.
This is where Antonio really started to prove what was possible, I think. Changed the game, right, in the Formula E and really show where you can really benefit from.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, the biggest breakthrough of that day was just qualifying.
One of the defining things about your championship this year is that getting out of Group 1 into Superpole is the key, and then winning, right?
Coming here into Berlin, and the way we won, we were on pole twice in a row, and we won the first 2 rounds here in Berlin was, for me, it's a little bit of a result of the hard work done at home, the preparation work, because we got here knowing exactly what we needed to do to extract the maximum out of this car, and I have to say I surprised even myself, but obviously that was a good feeling knowing you did a better job than anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. So what's the next race then?
What's next? Okay, so that's the last lap before. Yeah, so at this point I'm having Sebastian really close behind. This is cool to watch, the boys getting nervous. And here at this point I'm looking in the mirrors because I know Seb really wants that P2. I just decided to stay flat out into this corner, not giving Seb any chance to even come alongside me. And yeah, at this point now I know there's 1 corner left where I need to defend from Seb. And at this point I knew I had it, you know, and one last check in the mirrors here just to be sure. And
little flick on the way out, wasn't
One
it?
last acceleration, a little wheel spin on the exit for the show, and yeah, cross the line to win the championship. When I crossed the line, I was like, why am I not happier? I think we spoke about this at dinner last night. Say, why am I not happier? I mean, I'm happy, but I should be happier. And then kind of on the in-lap, it really started to sink in, and that's when everything just went out, and it was a cool moment.
For me, that was like perfection, right? We didn't actually know that we were going to potentially win the Teams Championship.
Okay.
And then someone said, guys, I think we're going to be Teams Champions
It's enough to win it.
So
that's why I didn't know until I got here to the podium.
It was awesome.
That brings us to the conclusion of this. Keeping up for next year, you know, I think the lesson here is just to minimize mistakes.
Exactly.
And I think we're the best at that as a team. So.
Yeah. Thank you very much for those championships.
Thank you for the call last year.
Yeah, thank you.
See you later.
So the Techeetah team deservedly wrapped up the championships with 2 races to spare, but that didn't mean that the drama was over.
In this episode, we're in Berlin at the ABB Formula E season finale. We've just crowned Antonio Felix da Costa as the season's champion, but the action is far from over.
Perhaps the most unique part of the Berlin season finale is the decision from Formula E to use 3 different track layouts across the 6 races. With little time between each doubleheader, reconfiguring the 1,600 concrete blocks, 1,400 fences, and 100 curbs that make up the circuits is a huge undertaking.
We notice when we have double header, it's always 2 times exactly the same race. So with the production team and the track and overlay team, we were already working before the COVID situation on this specific track in Berlin to go to race in opposite direction. So we are working on that, and then appears this COVID situation. And when people were trying to find solution, we say to our management, guys, we have this solution already in Berlin to have 2 different tracks. And then Alberto Longo, our boss, asked to go even more challenging and to do a 3rd layout.
We will open the wall. Okay, and the other side, totally at the exit. Okay.
The list of the things that we have to do in 24 hours is incredible. You need to change nearly everything. Every runoff area, every curbs, some walls, some fence, some boards, and we have 24 hours to do that. We have no room for mistake and we have no room for problem. So this is what we are trying to avoid.
So because of the COVID protocols, we have a daytime shift and a nighttime shift, and the two can't meet. So it's really important we keep on schedule and that we don't mix those two populations. So already we have tracks 2 and tracks 3 prepared. We have the extra sections sat there and they're ready. So it really will be a quite slick operation to go from the first race, second race, and then obviously we come into the second format then for races 3 and 4. So it will be a busy night once we get through that second race of the first format, and then we do something historic, and that's deliver a second racetrack here in Berlin.
It's going to be super exciting, and what is fun is that nobody has done that before. We always say Formula E drive the future, so it's exactly that, and this is why we were the last to race, and it was important for us to be one of the first series to race again.
Away from the track, whilst Formula E is now well established for its racing and environmental pedigree, it has ambitions to go further. The Berlin event marked the launch of its positively charged initiative. It's a clear intention to have an impact on the wider world through sustainability, diversity, inclusivity, and a desire to drive positive change.
A key part of this ambition has been Formula E's support and raising of funds for UNICEF, which has helped them to provide more than 224 million children worldwide with home-based or distanced learning. The partnership has also raised enough money to provide 6,430 PPE kits for healthcare workers around the globe, something that our teams and drivers have had the chance to appreciate firsthand.
It's been surprising for me how quickly you get used to these new procedures.
It's not the most comfortable thing to wear, that's for sure.
It's hot here, and wearing a face mask feels a bit uncomfortable.
I can only imagine what it's like in hospitals right now and care homes, etc.
My wife is a nurse, so I kind of really appreciate what those people, are doing, and we should continue to push as hard as we can to continue to support.
In the build-up to each of the Berlin races, the teams, drivers and event staff also took part in a moment of silence to reflect and stand together in our common humanity, in respect for those who tragically lost lives to coronavirus, and united in our defiance of racism and discrimination in all its forms.
We're here chasing our passion, doing what we love to do. It's, about the guys that maybe don't have that luck and, are facing much bigger problems than we do in chasing lap time and efficiency. And I think, it's a great moment to try and, think about these people and hopefully, be able to contribute to share the luck and make them look forward to a bright future.
So once again, the moment on the grid, 2020 has been an extraordinarily challenging year. The devastating effects of coronavirus, the destructive consequences of climate change, and the increased awareness of systemic racism around the world.
Ahead of the penultimate race of the season, and with all eyes on the grid, Oliver Rowland took his place on pole position for Nissan. The fight for second place was on.
And we go green in Germany.
The gap is really tight with the two cars behind.
Andre Lotterer was climbing up from 7th place.
There's Andre Lotterer forcing his way up the inside of René Rast into the new chicane at turns 8 and 9. D'Ambrosio steaming in the Mahindra.
The pace is quick, Good job, Andre. Focus on energy.
And there were clashes at the back of the pack.
Round goes De Grassi. De Costa and De Grassi come together, and the Audi is sent spinning.
I have a puncture.
On the very final lap, Audi newcomer René Rast was on the warpath for a podium position in only his 5th Formula E race.
Whoa, Rast goes right there! Ooh. What a bold move from René Rast, it hasn't really worked out. Lotterer comes to squeeze him, and Rast gets the move done, gets the inside. Lotterer's not impressed with that one. They're still side by side. Oh my, there's more contact. Rast is going to feed him out into the wall here, and he's up into 3rd place. Oliver Rowland takes his first win in Formula E. Second across the line is Robin Freitz, and René Rast is going to get a podium for Audi.
And that's a win! Well done, Doyle!
Yeah, it's correct! That win for Rowland catapulted him into 2nd in the championship, going into the very last race of the roller coaster season 6.
As the drivers lined up for the final time this season, Stoffel Vandoorne sat on pole for Mercedes after finally putting together a super pole lap, with teammate Nick de Vries in 4th, backing up the resurgence of the black-liveried Mercedes team.
For the last time, we go green in Berlin.
attack mode immediately started to shake things up.
Stoffel Vandoorne in the Mercedes then activates attack mode and relinquishes the lead of the race to Sebastian Buemi.
But the extra power paid off.
Stoffel Vandoorne making the move on Sebastian Buemi, had the extra power and was able to make it stick down into turn 1.
De Grassi was trying to force his way through the field.
Here comes De Grassi on Robin Fries to the outside on the run down into turn 1. Oh, De Grassi does his squeeze and Fries holds the position.
Robbie, man.
And rookie Nick de Vries was gunning for Buemi.
And there's de Vries up the inside of Buemi, second place now for the Mercedes. A Mercedes 1-2 in Formula E. The final honours in the final race of 6 races in 9 days goes to Stoffel Vandoorne and Mercedes. It's a 1-2 at their home race. De Vries in second position.
Yes! Oh, what a day!
That 1-2 finish for Mercedes meant that with his first win in Formula E, Stoffel Vandoorne fired himself into second place in the championship ahead of Jean-Eric Verne.
A strong performance from Buemi meant he took 4th place, with teammate Oliver Rowland in 5th.
The team's championship was swept by DS Techeetah, but second place went to Nissan Edams thanks to a rallying effort in the closing races.
Mercedes-Benz EQ took 3rd with that fantastic points haul from the final round.
As the dust starts to settle from the season finale, we thought we'd take a moment to speculate on what the driver lineups might look like for next year and bring you the latest movements in the paddock. As the last checkered flag fell in Berlin, Rocket Venturi Racing announced that they will be splitting with F1 legend Felipe Massa after a troubled 2 seasons for the Brazilian.
Tag Heuer Porsche finally confirmed the rumors that Neil Jarney would no longer be driving for the team, being replaced next season by the enigmatic Pascal Wehrlein.
Sam Bird leaves Envision Virgin Racing to partner Mitch Evans at Panasonic Jaguar Racing in a combination which is surely going to be one to watch.
The seat at Virgin which he is vacating will be filled by the highly rated Nick Cassidy, who tested for the team in Marrakesh.
BMW I Andretti are on the hunt for a second driver after frequent pole sitter Alexander Sims left the German team to replace veteran Jerome D'Ambrosio at Mahindra Racing. Following Brit Alex Lynn will also be hoping to secure a contract with Mahindra after a strong performance for the team after he was drafted to drive in Berlin.
René Rast was one of the standout rookies in Berlin, and many observers are saying he's all but confirmed his spot partnering Lucas de Grassi at Audi Sport Abt Schaeffler, with some excellent results at the season finale. Sergio Sete Camara pushed the Geox Dragon car further than many thought possible in Berlin, and thanks to that performance is surely on the shortlist to drive for the team full-time next season.
As the confetti settled and the cars were packed away, the sun was setting on season 6. And what a season it's been.
Just waiting for those lights.
Radio check 1, 2, 3.
Load and clear.
And we go green.
Okay, let's go.
Let's do this.
Are you ready?
We can win this race.
Let's go get him.
Yes, come on. Let's go, boys.
Oh, this feels so good. Last lap.
Bring it home.
It is a remarkable achievement. Antonio Felix da Costa, the champion of Formula E.
Oh my God, we just won this, guy. Thank you everyone.
So that's all from us for another season. Stay safe out there. We'll see you on the streets.